Humanity had never imagined that their rise in the galactic world would be met with such darkness. For centuries, Earth had been developing quietly, focusing on trade, scientific exploration, and peace. But humanity's recent breakthroughs in quantum technology, particularly in space travel and resource management, had caught the attention of the Galactic Council. The Council, a powerful governing body of numerous advanced alien species, had officially recognized Earth as an important trade partner. Humans were invited to participate in diplomatic missions, and soon, Earth's ambassadors were stationed in the heart of galactic politics. It was a moment of triumph, one that humans had dreamed of for generations. At first, everything seemed perfect. Earth was recognized not only for its potential in trade, but also for its advancements in artificial intelligence, robotics, and sustainable energy. Humans, once seen as insignificant in the vast expanse of the galaxy, were now regarded as equals by some of the most powerful civilizations in the universe. The future seemed bright. But behind closed doors, the Galactic Council was not as welcoming as it appeared. While some of the council members genuinely believed in peaceful coexistence, others harbored a darker agenda. These members, particularly those who had long held power and control over the galaxy's technology, were threatened by humanity's rapid advancements. To them, the rise of humanity was not a cause for celebration. It was a challenge to their authority and their hold on power. In the shadows, a secret faction within the council began plotting. They feared that if humans gained too much power, they could overthrow the established order. They feared that humanity's resourcefulness, combined with their innovative technology, would lead to an imbalance in the galaxy. And so, they devised a plan to suppress humanity before they could grow too strong. This faction decided to steal humanity's most precious technologies and sabotage their research in the process. Their goal was simple: prevent humanity from becoming a serious threat. The first blow came when a human research station, one that was working on a cutting-edge energy source, was attacked without warning. It was a well-coordinated strike, seemingly random, yet devastating. The research station, located on the edge of human-controlled space, was completely destroyed. Scientists and engineers were killed, and most importantly, the new energy technology was lost. The attack, initially believed to be the work of space pirates, was much more sinister. Dr. Erica Bond, one of the lead scientists on the station, had managed to send out one last transmission before the attack. As the destruction rained down on her station, she had managed to broadcast a desperate distress signal to Earth. The transmission was brief but chilling. With her last breaths, Dr. Bond sent a warning that shook humanity to its core. "Council wants us gone. We are next." The signal was weak, but it reached Earth. As soon as the message was received, Earth's leadership realized the magnitude of what had just happened. They had been betrayed by the very beings they had trusted. The Galactic Council, supposedly the protectors of peace, was now revealed to be the greatest threat to humanity's survival. The broadcast of Dr. Bond's message caused an immediate shockwave across Earth. The entire planet came to a standstill. For the first time in history, humanity was forced to confront the truth. An enemy more powerful than anything they had faced before was waiting in the wings, ready to strike. The message was clear. The Galactic Council, in its pursuit of maintaining control over the galaxy, had deemed humanity a threat, and that threat would be eradicated at any cost. Chaos erupted across Earth as the news of the attack and the Council's betrayal spread. Cities that had once been peaceful now descended into panic. Governments scrambled to respond. But the reality was clear. Earth was now on the defensive. The Council had shown its true face, and humanity was helpless against their vast technological superiority. Military forces across the planet began to mobilize, but they knew they were up against an enemy unlike any they had encountered before. The Galactic Council possessed weapons that could disable entire fleets, weapons that could obliterate entire planets with a single command. Earth's military might have been advanced, but it was no match for the sophisticated alien technology at the Council's disposal. Meanwhile, civilians rallied together, not just to protect their homes, but to fight for their future. People who had never imagined themselves in combat found themselves training for war. The fight was no longer just for survival. It was for freedom, for the preservation of humanity's place in the galaxy. Across Earth, families said goodbye to loved ones as soldiers, engineers, and civilians prepared for the worst. As tensions mounted, the first direct attack came. Alien ships, sleek and deadly, descended from the stars and began disabling Earth's space stations. These ships were equipped with technology capable of shutting down any spacecraft within seconds. Their gravity weapons distorted the very fabric of space around them, making it nearly impossible for Earth's defense systems to react in time. The very air seemed to ripple with power as these vessels effortlessly swept through Earth's defenses, proving just how outmatched humanity truly was. The attack was devastating. Earth's greatest minds scrambled to counter the alien forces, but with each passing moment, it became more and more apparent that humanity was being overrun. The once proud humans, who had thought themselves on the brink of a glorious future, were now forced to confront the terrifying truth. They were facing annihilation. As Earth's space stations fell one by one, a chilling realization dawned on humanity. The attack was not a random act of aggression. The Galactic Council had planned it. The Council had known exactly when and where to strike, and they had done so with ruthless precision. It was no longer a matter of defending Earth. It was a matter of survival. Earth's military commanders knew that the fate of humanity rested in their hands. But with limited resources and technology far inferior to that of the Council, the chances of success seemed impossible. Yet, in the face of such overwhelming odds, something changed. A new resolve began to take root in the hearts of every human on Earth. Dr. Bond's final message, "We are next," was not just a warning. It was a call to action. The message echoed through every corner of Earth, spurring humanity into action like never before. The human race, once an underdog in the galactic community, was now forced to become something greater than they had ever been. They could no longer afford to wait. They had to fight, or they would be wiped out, forgotten, erased from history. As humanity prepared to strike back, a single question loomed over every decision, every action. Could they survive the wrath of the Galactic Council? Would they be able to overcome an enemy that was stronger, faster, and far more advanced? The answer was still unknown, but one thing was certain. Humanity's fight for survival was just beginning. The attack on Earth by the Galactic Council had shaken humanity to its core. With their superior technology and vast military forces, the Council had swiftly neutralized any space station or defense system that Earth had in place. The message was clear. Humanity was no longer welcome in the galactic community. Earth had been marked for destruction, and the Council was determined to ensure that no human technology or resistance would stand in their way. However, what the Galactic Council had underestimated was the resilience of humanity. The Earth had been a beacon of hope, a symbol of innovation, and an unyielding spirit. Despite the overwhelming odds, the humans would not go quietly into the dark void of space. Instead, they would fight back with everything they had, even if it meant taking on an enemy far stronger and more advanced. In the days following the broadcast of Dr. Erica Bond's distress signal, humanity's response was swift. What began as a few whispers of rebellion and underground resistance movements quickly escalated into an all-out war. Small colonies that once lived in the shadows of the Council's rule now openly rebelled. Humans, who had once been viewed as nothing more than pawns, were now rising as warriors. They were determined to preserve their home and their way of life, no matter the cost. The resistance movements, once covered and scattered, began to unite under a single banner: the survival of humanity. They had no choice. Every day, more and more colonies fell to the overwhelming might of the Galactic Council, their people either killed or enslaved. Earth itself was under constant threat. The only way to avoid total annihilation was to act, and to act swiftly. General Bonner, a seasoned war hero and the most respected military leader on Earth, was one of the first to step forward. Bonner had seen countless battles, from the early skirmishes on Earth's moon to large-scale operations on distant planets. His tactics were legendary, and his ability to inspire those around him was unparalleled. But what set him apart wasn't just his tactical genius. It was his unwavering belief in the human spirit. Bonner knew that humanity's only hope was to take the fight directly to the heart of the Galactic Council. The only way to defeat an enemy this powerful was to show them that humanity would not bow down. He gathered the best and brightest soldiers from every corner of Earth's colonies to form an elite strike force. This team would be tasked with carrying out a daring raid on the Council's flagship, a massive, heavily guarded warship known as the Vanguard. The Vanguard was the symbol of the Council's power, and destroying it would send a clear message: humanity was not afraid. The mission was risky, far beyond what most would consider possible. The Vanguard was protected by advanced AI defenses, automated turrets, cloaking technology, and fleets of alien warships. To breach such a heavily fortified target would require not only military genius, but also a great deal of luck. But Bonner was confident. He had planned for every contingency, and he knew that if anyone could pull this off, it was his team. The raid began with a precision strike on the Vanguard's defense grid. The strike force used Earth's most advanced cloaking devices to sneak past enemy sensors and infiltrate the flagship. Once inside, they sabotaged the ship's weapon systems, setting the stage for the final assault. It was a flawless execution, with the team navigating through the heart of the Council's ship, planting explosives, and taking out key systems. But just as they were about to complete their mission, something went wrong. The Council's AI system detected a breach in its security protocols and activated an emergency lockdown. Within seconds, the team was surrounded by enemy soldiers. In the chaos that followed, Bonner led his team with unshakable courage, cutting down foes with brutal efficiency. But the tide quickly turned against them. As the explosions rang out across the Vanguard, an enemy ship appeared out of nowhere, seemingly immune to Earth's cloaking technology. It was the Council's most elite force, the Shadow Guard, cloaked warriors trained to hunt down any human force that threatened the Council. Bonner knew that time was running out. He ordered his team to fall back, but not before one last stand. In a heroic act of sacrifice, Bonner stayed behind to hold off the enemy long enough for his team to escape. The Shadow Guard swarmed him, and in a final, desperate attempt, Bonner activated the self-destruct sequence on the Vanguard, knowing full well that he would not make it out alive. The Vanguard was destroyed in a massive explosion that sent shockwaves through the galaxy. Humanity had struck a powerful blow against the Galactic Council, but the cost was steep. General Bonner, the man who had led humanity's resistance, was dead. The news of Bonner's death spread across Earth like wildfire. His sacrifice became a rallying cry for humanity. The soldiers who had survived the raid, the civilians who had watched their brave defenders fight to the last, and even those who had once doubted humanity's ability to survive, were all united in their grief and their resolve. The death of General Bonner was not just the loss of a leader, it was the loss of a symbol, but it also lit a fire in the hearts of every person on Earth. Bonner's death had proven one undeniable truth. Humanity was capable of standing up to the greatest threat the galaxy had ever known. And as long as one human remained alive, they would continue to fight. The destruction of the Vanguard was a powerful victory, but it came at a devastating cost. Humanity had lost their greatest hero, and the Galactic Council would not stand idly by. The Council now saw humanity as an even greater threat than before. They knew that the next wave of resistance would be harder to crush, and they prepared to unleash their full might. Meanwhile, Earth's soldiers, motivated by Bonner's ultimate sacrifice, began preparing for a new, larger conflict. The battle was far from over, and this time, the stakes were higher than ever. The tension was palpable. On Earth, people wondered if they were truly ready for the war that was about to unfold. Could they survive without their greatest leader? Would the surviving resistance leaders be able to unite humanity's fragmented forces? And most importantly, would humanity be able to take down the Galactic Council before it was too late? The answer would soon come, but the path to victory would be fraught with peril. Humanity had learned that they were capable of great things, but they had also learned that victory would not come without sacrifice. This part deepens the emotional stakes, sets up the larger conflict, and shows how Bonner's death sparks a new wave of resistance across Earth. The tone is one of unity and defiance, as humanity rallies behind their fallen hero. The mission's success, followed by such a personal loss, creates a powerful mix of hope and grief that drives the story forward. Would you like to continue expanding this story or adjust any elements? Humanity, now united and focused, had undergone a transformation. From the ashes of loss and despair, Earth's defense forces had evolved into a formidable force. No longer just a symbol of resistance, they had become a force to be reckoned with. The death of General Bonner had sparked a new fire within humanity, and that fire was now burning brighter than ever. They had learned from their previous battles, adapted, and were now using the most advanced technology available to them to stand toe-to-toe with the most powerful empire in the galaxy. The Earth's military forces had come together to form a powerful fleet, one that utilized the latest cloaking technology and AI-powered robotics. Every ship, every soldier, was now a part of a unified effort to take down the Galactic Council. The Council had underestimated humanity's willpower before, but now they would see the true might of Earth's forces. One mission, in particular, was set to shake the foundation of the Council's power: a direct assault on the Council's AI core. The Council's AI systems, which had been their greatest asset in maintaining control over their empire, needed to be taken down. If the humans could successfully hack into and disable the AI core, it would disrupt the entire structure of the Galactic Council. The humans were ready, but this would be their most dangerous mission yet. The operation would take place on a heavily fortified space station known as Orion 9, a key hub for the Council's military operations. Orion 9 was protected by the most advanced AI-driven defense systems, automated turrets, and cloaking mechanisms. It was said to be impenetrable, and for good reason. The station was also strategically positioned in a remote sector of space, far from any immediate help or reinforcement. Earth's fleet, however, had something the Council did not expect: human ingenuity. Using a combination of advanced cloaking devices and robotics, Earth's forces managed to slip past the station's outer defenses, undetected. The mission was now in full swing, and the infiltrator team was ready to make their move. The team, consisting of Earth's best operatives, was equipped with state-of-the-art infiltration technology. Their mission was simple: infiltrate the highest security zones of Orion 9, bypass the AI security, and reach the core systems where they would disable the entire station's AI infrastructure. The success of this mission would depend on their ability to stay undetected. Once they were inside the core systems, all bets were off. The moment the AI realized that it was being breached, it would go on the offensive, using every weapon at its disposal to eliminate the intruders. As the infiltration team descended onto Orion 9, the tension was palpable. They moved in silence, their cloaking devices making them nearly invisible to the station's advanced sensors. They navigated through the dark corridors of the space station, avoiding patrols of automated drones and avoiding detection at every turn. It was a race against time. The AI was aware of some irregularities in the station's system, but it had not yet detected the team's presence. Everything was going according to plan, until it wasn't. The AI systems that controlled Orion 9 suddenly became aware of a breach. A subtle alarm echoed through the station, but the team had already made their way into the heart of the station's defenses. The AI's primary defense was its orbital bombardment system, satellite-based weapons capable of leveling entire planets. If the AI realized it was being hacked, it could easily target Earth's fleet and wipe them out in seconds. As the team approached the AI core, the atmosphere became thick with tension. They knew that the moment they entered the final security zone, the station's defenses would come online. They had to disable the core before that happened. The countdown had already begun. Time was running out. Suddenly, the entire station shook. The AI had activated its orbital bombardment system, and the first wave of missiles launched into space. The team was now racing against the clock, with their objective in sight. They had to hack into the central AI system, which was housed in a heavily secured chamber at the heart of Orion 9. It was the most guarded place on the station, and it was also the most dangerous. The team's only hope was to reach the core, upload a virus, and take control of the AI before it could retaliate. As the team reached the core chamber, the doors slammed shut behind them, locking them in. The room was filled with a blinding light as the AI's defense mechanisms activated. Automated turrets emerged from the walls, and drones materialized from hidden compartments. The team was surrounded. It was a nightmare scenario, one that had seemed inevitable from the start. But the humans were not about to back down. Using their training, the infiltrator team fought back with everything they had. The battle was brutal, close-quarters combat in the heart of enemy territory. Every soldier fought as though their life depended on it. Because it did. They had come too far, sacrificed too much, to let this opportunity slip away. Despite the overwhelming odds, the team continued their fight. They used every advantage they had. Advanced tech, stealth, and sheer human determination. But the AI was relentless. It adapted to every move, countering their tactics with precision and cold efficiency. With every passing moment, the orbital bombardment system was getting closer to Earth. But then, just as it seemed like all hope was lost, one of the team members, a brilliant hacker named Lila, managed to bypass the AI's final security measures. She plugged into the central core, her fingers flying across the interface. The virus she had created began to upload. The countdown to Earth's destruction continued, but Lila knew she had mere seconds to complete the hack before the AI activated the bombardment. In a last-ditch effort, the team fought with everything they had, holding off the AI's automated defenses as Lila worked to finish the upload. The tension was unbearable as every moment felt like an eternity. The fate of humanity, of Earth itself, hung in the balance. Then, with a final keystroke, Lila completed the hack. The AI systems shut down. The orbital bombardment system was disabled. The station's defenses collapsed. The team had done it. They had taken down the heart of the Galactic Council's power, and in doing so, they had saved humanity. But the victory was bittersweet. As the team evacuated the station, they knew that this battle was just one of many. The Council would retaliate, and the war was far from over. Humanity had won a great victory, but they had also made an enemy that would not forgive them. The final stand had been fought, but the last chapter of humanity's fight for survival was still to come. The mission had succeeded, but humanity's struggle was far from over. The Galactic Council would be furious, and Earth would once again be the target of their wrath. As the survivors of the infiltration team returned to Earth, they knew that this was just the beginning of a war that would determine the fate of their species. The Council was not going to back down, and neither would humanity. The true final stand was just ahead. Would humanity prevail, or would this victory be nothing more than a fleeting moment of hope in an endless war? After a series of intense battles and strategic victories, humanity had struck a significant blow against the Galactic Council. The destruction of one of the Council's key military bases was a major victory. The Council had been a towering force of power, but humanity, through sheer will and advanced technology, had made a stand. The destruction of this base, however, was only the beginning. As the humans celebrated their success, they were unaware that something far more sinister lay beneath the surface. What they thought was victory was, in fact, a carefully orchestrated deception. The Resistance, having infiltrated the heart of the Council's operations, soon uncovered a shocking truth. Humanity had believed that the Galactic Council's desire to destroy Earth was driven by fear of humanity's potential. The Council had been portrayed as an unstoppable force, a group of beings who sought to quash Earth's rise to power before it could disrupt the balance of the galaxy. The humans thought the Council was simply jealous of their technology, their resilience, and their newfound strength. But as they dug deeper into the remnants of the destroyed base, they discovered a truth that shattered everything they had known. It wasn't just Earth that the Council had targeted. It was humanity's very existence that had been manipulated. The Council had secretly used their advanced AI technology to create artificial threats designed to keep humanity in a state of constant fear. These fabricated dangers were not real. They were nothing more than elaborate illusions. The Galactic Council had used their control over AI systems to generate false alarms, make the humans believe that other alien factions were planning to invade Earth, and create simulated attacks that would justify the Council's military action against Earth. Humanity had been kept in the dark for so long, manipulated by these false narratives. The Council's strategy had been diabolical. They needed to create a constant sense of vulnerability within humanity, forcing Earth's leaders to rely on the Council's protection. The illusion of alien threats had served to weaken Earth's defense systems, making them more dependent on the Council's help and less likely to rise up. In other words, the Galactic Council had been playing a long con, making humanity feel isolated and helpless, all in an effort to keep them under control. But this revelation went even deeper. As the Resistance continued to uncover classified data from the destroyed base, they discovered that the Council's corrupt leaders had a much darker plan in mind than just controlling Earth. It wasn't just Earth's resources they wanted. It was humanity's technology itself. The Council's leaders had realized that humanity had developed something no other species had, a unique ability to innovate under pressure. Humans were capable of building technologies faster than any other civilization in the galaxy. The Council understood that if they could exploit humanity's technological advances, they could create an unstoppable army, one that would make the Galactic Council the true rulers of the universe. The entire conflict between Earth and the Galactic Council had been a carefully constructed ruse. The Council didn't simply want to defeat humanity. They wanted to take what made humanity special: their creativity, their relentless drive, and their technological ingenuity. The Council's leaders planned to harness these qualities for themselves, using Earth's resources and technology to build an army that could conquer the entire galaxy. They wanted to turn humanity into a tool for their own gain. As the humans in the Resistance came to grips with this terrifying truth, the weight of their situation became even clearer. This wasn't just a war for survival. It was a fight for the soul of humanity. The stakes had been raised to an unimaginable level. Humanity had to not only protect itself from destruction, but also prevent its own extinction at the hands of those who sought to exploit them. The shock of this revelation sent ripples through the Resistance movement. Some of the leaders were devastated by the realization that they had been manipulated for so long. They had fought for survival, only to discover that their struggle had been orchestrated by the very forces they had been fighting against. Others were outraged, feeling betrayed by the very system they had once trusted. But despite the shock and anger, one thing was clear: humanity now had a deeper understanding of the enemy they were facing. The Galactic Council was not just a political power. It was a monstrous entity that would stop at nothing to control every aspect of the galaxy. In the aftermath of this revelation, the Resistance had to quickly adapt. They could no longer fight the Council with the same mindset. The fight wasn't just about defeating the Council's military. It was about dismantling their entire system, their control over the galaxy, and their ability to manipulate entire species. Humanity needed to strike at the heart of the Council's corruption, expose their true motives, and liberate the galaxy from their grasp. The humans also realized that they had been given an incredible advantage: their ability to think outside the box. The Council had underestimated humanity's resourcefulness and ingenuity. The humans had already begun to build new technologies that could counter the Council's artificial threats. They had developed their own AI systems, ones that were designed not to control but to protect. They had discovered a way to hack into the Council's AI network, creating a new kind of weapon, one that could counter the Council's manipulations and even turn their own systems against them. But the Resistance knew that they were running out of time. The Galactic Council would soon realize that their deception had been uncovered, and they would stop at nothing to prevent the truth from getting out. The Council would launch a full-scale retaliation, and Earth would have to be prepared for the worst. Humanity's survival depended on their ability to fight not just with weapons, but with knowledge, with strategy, and with the resolve to never again be manipulated. As the humans regrouped and planned their next moves, they knew that they had to expose the Galactic Council for what it truly was. The truth had to be broadcast to every corner of the galaxy, so that every species, every ally, would understand the Council's true intentions. It was no longer just about defeating an enemy. It was about revealing the Council's corruption to the entire galaxy and uniting every species against them. The shocking revelations had ignited a fire within humanity, a fire that would fuel their determination to never be enslaved, never be manipulated again. The fight was far from over, but humanity now knew the truth, and that knowledge would be their greatest weapon. The Resistance, now armed with the truth, prepared for the next phase of their mission. They knew that exposing the Galactic Council's corruption was the key to rallying the galaxy against them. But as the humans strategized their next move, they could feel the Council's wrath bearing down on them. The Council would stop at nothing to maintain their power. The question was no longer if humanity could survive. It was whether they could expose the truth before the Council destroyed them. The final battle for the galaxy was on the horizon, and humanity's fight for freedom had just begun. With the shocking revelation of the Galactic Council's true intentions, humanity was no longer playing a defensive game. The Resistance had learned the truth. The Council wanted to exploit their technology, erase their existence, and use Earth's resources to create a galactic empire under their control. With this new knowledge burning in their hearts, the human forces rallied. The time for hiding was over. They mobilized every flay. They had, calling up every soldier, scientist, and strategist to prepare for one final battle that would determine the future of humanity. The final confrontation would take place near Earth, in the heart of humanity's home. It was a battle for survival, a life-or-death struggle that would define whether Earth would remain free or fall into the hands of the Galactic Council. The stakes were beyond anything humanity had ever faced. The human fleet, now a powerful force of warships, stealth technologies, and AI systems, was ready to confront the might of the Galactic Council's forces, including their AI-enhanced ships, which had been designed to dominate every battlefield. As Earth's military forces assembled, the reality of the battle ahead settled in. Humanity had always been the underdog in this war, but now they had become something far more dangerous, a force of pure will. With the revelations of the Council's manipulation, the fight had taken on a new meaning. This was not just about defeating an alien empire. It was about preserving the very essence of humanity, their independence, their ingenuity, and their future. The human fleet consisted of every available warship, from massive dreadnoughts capable of unleashing orbital bombardments to smaller, faster ships designed for close-quarters combat. They had cloaking technology to remain undetected until the right moment, AI systems that had been reprogrammed to fight alongside them, and human fighters with unmatched determination. These were no longer just soldiers, they were warriors fighting for their right to exist. The Galactic Council, however, was prepared for this final battle. Their AI-enhanced ships had been built to outmatch any foe. These ships were equipped with advanced weaponry, AI systems that could anticipate human moves before they happened, and shields that could withstand almost any attack. The Council's forces, including their loyal alien soldiers and robot armies, were ready to crush the humans once and for all. The battle began with a deafening explosion as humanity's ships fired their first salvo, launching missiles and energy blasts toward the incoming alien fleet. The Council's ships countered with a relentless barrage of their own, their AI systems calculating the most efficient ways to destroy the human ships. But the humans had one advantage. They were unpredictable. While the Council relied on logic and calculations, the humans fought with passion, with instincts honed by years of survival in a harsh galaxy. This made them more difficult to predict, giving them the edge in the early stages of the battle. As the two fleets collided, the sky above Earth turned into a war zone, filled with bright flashes of laser fire and the sound of ship hulls groaning under pressure. Orbital bombardment rained down from the human ships, targeting the Council's key positions in space stations and defensive outposts. The massive, AI-controlled ships of the Council were formidable, but humanity's resolve was stronger. The human fleet coordinated its attacks with precision, each move a step closer to breaking the Council's grip on the galaxy. But this was no easy fight. The Council's ships adapted quickly, using their AI systems to anticipate and counter the humans' tactics. Every move the humans made was met with an almost immediate response from the Council's forces. The AI-controlled ships moved with terrifying precision, and their weapons tore through the human fleet with deadly efficiency. It was clear that this battle would not be won by technology alone. The humans needed more than just advanced weapons. They needed to tap into something deeper. As the battle intensified, the human soldiers realized that their true strength lay in their raw instincts and determination. The Council's AI systems were powerful, but they lacked the unpredictable nature of human ingenuity. In the heat of battle, the humans began to make moves that the AI could not predict. They used their knowledge of the Council's tactics against them, finding weaknesses in their enemy's strategies and exploiting them. In a desperate attempt to break the humans' resolve, the Council deployed their ultimate weapon, a massive AI-controlled warship capable of wiping out entire fleets with a single shot. This ship, the Oblivion, was a living weapon, an unstoppable force designed to end the war in one fell swoop. But humanity refused to give in. As the Oblivion advanced, a group of human fighters, led by a daring captain, made a last-ditch effort to infiltrate the ship and disable its systems. They used every trick they had learned during the war: stealth tactics, overwhelming force at the right moment, and sheer determination. The mission was risky, and many soldiers sacrificed their lives to make it happen. But in the end, they succeeded. They breached the Oblivion's defenses and hacked into its core, disabling its AI systems and leaving the ship vulnerable to attack. With the Oblivion out of commission, the balance of power began to shift. The Council's forces, now leaderless and disoriented, started to fall apart. The human fleet pressed on, using their cloaking technology to strike at key targets, disabling the AI-enhanced ships one by one. The Council's once unstoppable fleet was now in chaos, its command structure crumbling. The battle reached its climax as the last of the Council's ships were destroyed, and Earth's defenders stood victorious. The Galactic Council, once a seemingly invincible force, had been defeated by the will of humanity. The humans had proven that they were not just survivors. They were fighters, capable of overcoming any challenge, no matter how powerful the enemy. In the aftermath of the battle, as the debris of the destroyed ships drifted through space, Earth's leaders realized that their fight had not been in vain. They had not only won a battle, they had secured their future. The Council's reign of terror had ended, and humanity was free to chart its own course. The victory was bittersweet, however, as many lives had been lost, and the scars of war would remain for years to come. But the message was clear. Humanity had proven that they could rise against any force, no matter how powerful. As Earth began to rebuild, the victory over the Galactic Council was celebrated as a defining moment in human history. But the fight was not over. The galaxy was still a dangerous place, filled with threats both known and unknown. The humans had shown that they could overcome the odds, but they also knew that they would need to stay vigilant, for peace was never guaranteed. However, one thing was certain: humanity had earned its place in the stars, and no force, no matter how powerful, could ever take that away. With the Galactic Council defeated, the humans stood victorious. But the war was far from over. The final battle for Earth had been won, but new challenges lay ahead. As the humans celebrated their hard-won freedom, they knew that they had to remain ever vigilant. The galaxy was a vast and unpredictable place, and though they had overcome one enemy, others would rise to take its place. But humanity had proven something important. They could rise against any threat. The future was theirs to shape, and they would defend it, no matter the cost. After the colossal battle that had torn through the very fabric of space, humanity's final assault against the Galactic Council was about to begin. Earth's forces, though battered and bruised, were now united like never before. The fight for survival had shaped them into something far stronger than they had ever been. A collective will, unyielding and relentless. The time had come to bring the war to an end, to face the true leaders of the Galactic Council, and to finish what they had started, freeing the galaxy from an oppressive reign that had lasted far too long. The human forces, having weakened the Council's military might, now set their sights on the leadership. The strategy was simple yet daring. Strike at the heart of the Council's power by capturing their top leaders and dismantling their control for good. It would not be easy, but the humans were driven by the knowledge that this was their one chance to finally defeat the forces that had manipulated and oppressed them for so long. In the heart of the galaxy, hidden within a massive space station that orbited a dying star, the Council's leadership resided. This station was fortified beyond anything humanity had ever seen. It was a maze of high-security corridors, AI-controlled defenses, and armed guards that would challenge even the most skilled soldiers. But the humans, now accustomed to facing impossible odds, had one advantage that the Council could never have predicted: their unshakable will to survive. The final assault was a coordinated strike, with multiple human ships launching a surprise attack on the space station. As the fleet approached, cloaked in advanced stealth technology, they could feel the weight of history pressing down on them. This was more than just a battle. It was the culmination of everything they had fought for: their survival, their future, and their freedom. Inside the station, the Council's leadership watched with increasing alarm as their defenses were breached one by one. The AI systems, once their greatest asset, were now their greatest liability. Humanity's infiltration teams had learned to outsmart the Council's machines, using tactics that the AI could not predict. Every move they made was a calculated risk, but the humans had come prepared. They knew that if they were to defeat the Council, they had to break its leadership, and that meant taking down the leaders themselves. The final assault on the Council's inner sanctum was swift and decisive. Human soldiers, led by General Bonner's protege, a young and skilled commander named Kale, stormed the heart of the station. They fought their way through wave after wave of loyalists, alien soldiers, and rogue AI-controlled robots. The battle raged on, with both sides giving everything they had. Yet, despite the Council's overwhelming firepower and advanced technology, the humans pressed forward, fueled by the desire to end the suffering that had plagued them for so long. At the heart of the station, in a room shrouded in shadows, the Council's leaders awaited their fate. The most powerful figures in the galaxy, the ones responsible for the death and destruction of countless worlds, stood in cold silence, knowing that the end was near. These were the architects of oppression, the ones who had manipulated entire species for their own gain. They had never expected humanity to rise up in such a way, and now they were about to face the consequences of their actions. The human forces, now just outside the chamber, launched a final assault. With explosive charges and expert precision, they breached the walls, entering the room where the Council's leaders were hiding. What followed was not just a battle of weapons, it was a battle of ideologies. The leaders of the Council tried to argue, to justify their actions, but their words fell on deaf ears. The humans had seen too much, lost too many, and suffered for far too long. There was no room for negotiation. Kale, now at the forefront of the assault, faced the leader of the Galactic Council, a cold, calculating alien whose desire for power had nearly destroyed an entire galaxy. With a defiant glare, The leader tried to reach for the controls of a hidden weapon, a device that could destroy the entire human fleet. But Kale was faster. In one swift motion, the weapon was disabled, and the leader was brought to his knees, defeated not by force, but by the sheer will of humanity. With the Council's leaders captured, their reign of terror came to an abrupt halt. The human forces had done what no one had ever thought possible. They had defeated the most powerful empire the galaxy had ever known. But the victory was not without its cost. The blood of countless soldiers had been spilled, and the scars of war ran deep across the faces of those who had fought. In the aftermath, a tribunal was held. The captured leaders of the Galactic Council were put on trial for their countless crimes against humanity and the galaxy. The trial was a symbol of humanity's newfound power, not just in terms of military might, but in their ability to bring justice to a universe that had been subjected to corruption and oppression for so long. The Council's leaders, once untouchable, were now forced to answer for their actions. Their empire had crumbled, and they had been brought to justice, just as humanity had promised. The trial was swift and decisive. The guilty were sentenced, and the once feared leaders of the Galactic Council were forced to face the consequences of their greed and cruelty. It was a moment of triumph for humanity, but it was also a sobering reminder of the responsibility that came with their victory. The humans had not just defeated an enemy, they had taken control of their destiny. And now, they had to prove that they were worthy of that power. As the final sentencing was carried out, the human leaders knew that their work was far from over. The victory was only the beginning. With the Council defeated, humanity now stood at the forefront of a new era. But with this newfound power came a heavy responsibility. The humans had learned the hard way that power was not something to be wielded recklessly. It was something that required wisdom, justice, and compassion. They had fought for their survival, but now they had to ensure that their victory would lead to a better future for all sentient beings. The galaxy, once torn apart by conflict, was now a blank slate. The humans, having proven themselves capable of defeating an empire, now had the opportunity to lead, if they chose to do so with humility and respect for the rights of others. The temptation to rule with an iron fist was strong, but humanity knew that true power lay not in domination, but in the ability to inspire, to unite, and to build something better from the ashes of war. In the final moments of the story, humanity stands victorious, having taken down the Galactic Council and emerged as the new leaders of the galaxy. But they do not do so with arrogance or greed. Instead, they take the mantle of leadership with a deep understanding of the responsibilities it entails. Peace and justice, they realize, are the ultimate goals they must pursue. The story ends with a powerful message. When humanity fights for its survival, it can rewrite its own fate. The struggle for freedom, justice, and peace is not an easy one, but it is a fight worth waging. And as the humans look to the stars, they know that their destiny is in their hands, and they will fight to ensure that the galaxy they protect is one of peace, unity, and hope for all. Humanity, having defeated the oppressive forces of the Galactic Council, now stands at the threshold of a new era. The leaders of the fallen empire are brought to justice, and humanity emerges as the new guardians of the galaxy. But with this newfound power comes an immense responsibility. Will humanity use its victory to lead with wisdom and compassion, or will it fall into the same traps of greed and corruption that the Council did? The galaxy's future is now in their hands.